The small island of Tobago, just off the coast of South America, is only 25 miles long. Yet, it offers everything you'd want from a Caribbean destination. Its laid-back lifestyle perfectly suits an island culture where it's all about the water, being in it, on it, or just close to it. Here, on the island of Tobago, harvesting the bounty of the ocean is a way of life for most of the locals. And all over the Caribbean, one of the most treasured treats that comes out of these waters is conch, a giant snail-like creature. Tourists love the lobster, but locals love the conch. The conch is a large, pink-lipped mollusk native to the warm waters of the Caribbean. Its familiar shell has been marketed to tourists for decades, but eating them is not as popular outside of this region. Their scarcity makes harvesting conch a dangerous trade, involving some serious diving, retrieving them at the bottom of the ocean. Today, the best conch diver on the island will show me the ropes. His name, Tobago Cox, nicknamed after the island itself. Gentlemen, good morning.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Tobago has been diving off this island since he was a child. He's not just old school, he's one of the few remaining divers in the area who is skilled enough to work the way he does, on his own boat, no fancy equipment, not a radio, not even a map. So you do this all by feel?
Yeah, when those guys use GPS,
yeah,
I use land map.
Well, GPS is relatively new. People have been on the water for thousands of years.
I do the old way.
Yeah,
yeah,
I like that. Yeah. About 10 miles from shore, Tobago starts testing the waters for depth and current. If the waters are too deep, no conch. And if the current is too strong, no dive.
A little more in it.
So a quick peek overboard, and he's just gonna MacGyver the boat around, and once we get the right depth, and he knows there are conch down there, over he goes. We found a spot where the conchs are congregating on the ocean floor. In shallower waters, Tobago free dives. But since this looks to be about 50 feet deep, he uses a tank and a buoy so we can find him when he's ready to come back up. Once underwater, Tobago works quickly to get as many conchs as he can, grabbing them with his spear and scooping them into the bags. The number of conch he harvests varies, but he usually can find at least a dozen. Tobago then sells his catch to local restaurants. All right, here comes the catch. There's our ballast bag. 2 lobsters and a mess of conch. Wow. Wow. Very impressive. No Man's Land is a remote beach accessible only by boat just off the southern coast of Tobago. It's the perfect place to unload and cook up a little shore lunch. What's the next step?
To break them.
Okay.
To take out the meat from them.
All right. Well, I can see here that safety glasses are strictly optional.
Yes, sir.
But essentially, if you break the crown of that shell, it releases the pressure, and you can actually chase that little guy out of there, it looks like, with the knife. Conch can be cooked in a variety of ways, but it can also be eaten raw. Almost every part of the conch is edible, except for the intestines. And I do mean every part. So this is the penis?
That is the penis.
Yeah.
Right? In the mating season, many times while diving, this thing will stretch about all like this length.
Get out
go into the mother.
Yeah.
The female.
The lady
cell.
conch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know how they get it to stretch that long, but.
Well, really.
I don't know how.
Really, Tobago. Everyone knows.
Yeah. You know.
A little hard.
Yeah. Conch is a muscle. Yeah.
But on the whole, not bad. Wow. Look at that. This tastes exactly like a cooked scallop does. Super, super sweet, not salty at all. And I'll tell you, the other part of the mussel down here needs a lot of cooking for it to be tender, but this is extremely, extremely soft. Wow. I don't know why they're bothered to clean these. You just eat around the bad stuff. This beach is a hot spot for the locals, and it's scattered with barbecue grills used for occasions just like this one. A few of Tobago's friends, Captain Frothy, his son Adrian, and a big guy named Skinny are on hand to help us with our catch.
Today, well, we're gonna make real quick a little conch ceviche.
Yeah.
And then my big man here, Skinny, he's gonna cook some conch. He's gonna stew down the conch, a curry stew.
I love that.
We're gonna have that with some provisions, you know, some dasheen, some breadfruit, sweet potatoes, plantains.
All right, I'll let you get to it.
All right.
While the guys prepare the conch, I gather the goods to make a special side dish. There's just too much good stuff on this beach to ignore. Look what I found. Sea grapes. Fabulous. I'm gonna make a little salad. I toss in a few peppers, some lime, ginger, and one of the lobsters we just caught. I put it all into a coconut shell to make a ceviche-style salad fresh from the sea. Plunk that bad boy right down there. All right, what do you got? What do you got? What's this?
This is the conch ceviche.
Oh, beautiful. Ceviche is raw fish or shellfish that's been marinated in citrus juice, typically lime. The acid of the juice causes the flesh of the fish or seafood to become firm and turn color or opaque.
All right.
All right. You ready, boys?
Cheers.
Cheers. Very nice. Oh. Wow. That's good.
It's all good.
That is absolutely out of sight. All right. Little conch and lobster curry, courtesy of my new best friend over here, Skinny. Super sweet, super melt in your mouth good. That's incredible. Nice job.
You're very much welcome.
What a feast. A lot of conch, a little lobster, and a beautiful sunset. You guys are great. I got an idea. Let's do it again tomorrow. I'm not busy. You guys up for it?
Yeah, man. Sure thing.
The state of Alaska is arguably the least connected of any of the United States. Aside from Anchorage and Fairbanks, many cities and villages are accessible only by sea or air for much of the year. The small fishing village of Bethel, Alaska is one of those landlocked towns. Located on the western side of the state, Bethel is a lifeline for the dozens of tiny villages that dot the Kuskokwim River. The river and surrounding wilderness provide a way of life for many families here, most of whom are Yupik Eskimos. Sourcing food here in the winter is a challenge, to say the least. I'm meeting a local Yupik, Anna David, who's going to show me the ropes. Something tells me you have to be Anna.
Yes, Pukka Andrew.
First stop, Ivan Waska's home. He's on his way to check his whitefish nets, and he may have a few fish for us. I'm honored to be here. This is going to be a lot of fun. How do we get to the fishing grounds? By snowmobile?
Yes.
Perfect. All righty. You ready back there?
I'm ready.
All right, hang on. Now this is cool. Ivan's nets are actually under the ice, placed carefully early in the winter before the ice gets too thick. His method of fishing is common in the Bethel area, and it's pretty labor-intensive. Now, the Jewish kid from New York always has to unwind the rope. Ivan begins by chipping through the ice with a handmade ice pick. No power tools required here. Ivan is a man of few words but much wisdom. Because of the thickness of the ice, the nets are actually down about 10 feet under the surface.
That's a whitefish.
You're darn tootin' it is. Overall, it's a productive morning as we pull about 20 whitefish up. All right, hey, Yvonne. We only have one small problem now. I can't feel any of my hands. No need for additional refrigeration. We take a few fish and head to our next destination. Ta-da! I hope I didn't goof up the nets too much.
You should cut more fish.
Next time when I come up. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, yeah, nah.
Hop on, sister. Yvonne has other fish to fry, so I'm going with Anna to her good friend Lucy Crow's house for a little lunch. Hello.
Come in.
I'm Andrew.
I'd like you to meet Lucy Crow.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us in your home. Lucy is preparing a variety of traditional native dishes. When she and Anna were growing up, there was no electricity, no refrigeration, baking was unheard of. Everything they ate was either fresh, dried, or smoked. Today, we're eating something called stinkheads, boiled blackfish, seal soup, once again, a gutuk or Eskimo ice cream. But first up, the blackfish, topped off with seal oil. Sounds tame enough.
Here I am. You.
All right, so what do?
You took the head.
You eat the head, push it against the roof of your mouth and your teeth, and just kind of get all the goodness out. Oh.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. Suck all the goodies out of it.
Oh, all that brain and head fat's pretty darn tasty. But the meat that's on these little bones is incredible. Now, seal oil is not readily available at your local store, so Lucy got hers and the seal for the soup from her sister who lives in a remote coastal village to the north. All right. Seal soup, here goes nothing.
Isn't that good?
Wow. Yeah, it's much fishier than I thought it would be. But the meat itself
Tender, huh?
is really tender and kind of beefy. Look at you just tear into the stinky stuff. That unrecognizable stinky stuff can be summed up in one word: stinkheads. These are actually fish heads that have been buried and left to rot, then dug up and eaten weeks later. And this is safe to eat, right? All right. Oh. Those smell ripe. Are you into these also?
It's just like eating aged cheese.
That is very true.
You don't like it?
You've got to get past that taste on the back of the mouth and just. There's nothing wrong with the flavor of those or the texture. It's just that where I come from, in the lower 48, we're taught that fish that's gone bad, you shouldn't eat it. So I just have to keep telling myself I'm not eating spoiled fish. No traditional meal in Alaska would be complete without a gutuk. This will be the second time I've had the mixture of fat, sugar, fish, and berries. After my last experience with this stuff, I'm fairly hesitant, but I'll give it another shot. Holy cow. This is really amazing, though. If you didn't tell somebody what that is, they would just think this is blueberry sorbet. This is incredible. See, you really got to come where they know how to make this stuff. Because I've had this in some other parts of Alaska, and they don't have half the agutuk skills that you guys do. What a fabulous day. Oh, hey, you know something? I'm going to give...
Okay.
I almost forgot to give Lucy her hostess gift, the fresh whitefish we got earlier in the day.
Nice.
You can salt them and ferment them and let them rot. And then when I come back next year, we can eat these fish after you pull them out of the ground.
I'm not waiting that long. Nice.
Thank you very much. My pleasure. The coastline of Maine is filled with ports and islands that are home to some of the most quaint villages and townships in the nation. I'm heading north from Portland to Ilaho, an area known for lobster fishing. Nearly 40 million pounds of lobster are caught off the shores of Maine every year. About 4 hours outside of Portland, Maine is the scenic fishing village of Stonington. I'm catching a ride here from Captain Bill. We're heading out to Isle Ho, where we're meeting up with a local fishing legend. This is a trip I've wanted to go on since I was a kid. I'm about to go lobstering, and there's no one better to teach me the craft than Linda Greenlaw. Her life as a sword fishing captain was chronicled in the book and movie The Perfect Storm. She's an accomplished author herself and currently fishes for lobster. I appreciate it. This is unbelievable. It's quite an island you got here.
Welcome to Isle Ho. Yeah.
Is this your boat?
It is.
Fantastic.
Well, I think we probably ought to get going.
Hop on. Linda gives me the role of stern man, meaning I'll help haul in the lobster traps. Although apparently there's a dress code for this job.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, great.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Great.
Let's go.
Okay.
I'm excited. We cast off and point the Matty Bell about a quarter mile out into the cold waters of the Atlantic. Linda's slowing down so we don't swamp the kayakers. Local fishermen call those people speed bumps. We quickly come up on the first set of buoys that mark where Linda has placed some of her traps. She can have up to 700 traps set anywhere in these waters, and in this area has 2 traps attached to each buoy. If the weather is good, she checks these traps every day. She swings the boat around, I grab the first trap, and from the sound of it, this haul is massive.
Oh, yeah. You can take this as we got someone gear. That's a good start. The hell.
I love that. Just a bunch of old boat gear and seaweed. We cut it free and pull up a few more traps.
You've already got them on both fingers. I like it.
Ow!
Yeah, it
Whoa.
does, and it does hurt.
Holy moly.
Yeah, sorry.
No kidding does that. No, my bad. I just thought it was so cute. Okay.
It is cute, to a point.
Rule number 1 when lobstering, keep your fingers out of the way. Linda instructs me how to measure for the keeper. All right, so.
The carapace does not fit within that.
Yep.
So it's a good lobster. That's a really nice lobster. So put it in the table and we'll get these ready to set them back out.
This is my first lobster. I love it.
And it's a beauty.
No time to celebrate, however, as there are a few more traps to go through. Way too small. Gotta put them back. To be considered a keeper, the lobster's body has to be a minimum of 3¼ inches long. Male lobsters are fair game, but it's illegal to keep female lobsters that have eggs. She's good. 2 claws. It's a male. Not bad.
Not bad at all.
The last step is to band the lobster claws so we can safely handle them. Then it's time to head for the land and an authentic Down East dining experience. Fresh lobster? Can't wait. And the ride home just got a little sweeter. Linda's letting me drive her boat.
Okay, no, you first, then throttle. There you go.
Gear first, then throttle. Well, maybe I'm a better stern man. It's a short drive from the Isle Ho dock to Linda's shoreline home, where her friends Simon and Soraya have been preparing a real New England lobster boil. They have everything they need: a galvanized wash tub, salt water from the ocean, onion, corn, steamer clams, and of course, lobster. Seaweed is thrown on top to hold in the steam that cooks the food. When the lobsters turn red, it's time to eat. All right.
Oh, yeah. You get it all? And just.
Boy, that smells
there.
good.
Wow.
Looks like everything's done. But you look at a lobster and you think, whoever ate the first one must have been pretty hungry.
Well, yeah, they just look like giant bugs.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is a funky thing. Lobster has not always been thought of as the delicacy it is today.
I think this looks
Back
like
in
a
the
pretty
late
good scene,
1800s,
actually.
prisoners in the state of Maine complained of cruel and unusual punishment when they were served lobster more than once a week.
You know, and all the mess. Oh, yes, people could eat these in a restaurant.
Tamale
Look at
is
me.
the green stuff. That orange stuff going down the tail of the lobster is the roe. Then squeeze and crack and pull. And there you have it. The whole lobster tail.
Stuff away. It's the best part.
Oh my. Salty, firm. There's that highly prized lobster roe. So delicious.
Oh, yeah. I've got a good one, too.
And then all that green stuff there is the tamale, which is the liver and the pancreas of the lobster. It's like lobster soup without having to make it. Just open up that head. Wow. Good, 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 huh?
Delish.
One disclaimer. While tamale is considered a delicacy, the Maine Lobster Promotion Council advises against eating it because it can absorb dioxins from the environment.
I happen to be a big sort of chest and frame guy also. You take away this feathery lung stuff, right? And then I just sort of go at this part, kind of like a seal. This has just been a treat. Thank you so much. Most importantly, thank you for letting me drive your boat.
Well, you did a good job
Thank
handling
you.
her.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You guys are fantastic.
Eating lobster fresh from the sea with one of the country's most renowned fishermen? Yeah, it's been a good day. Tourism is the #1 industry in the Australian city of Cairns, and this 1,600-mile natural wonder is most of the reason why. The Great Barrier Reef lies just 50 miles off the northeast coast. Today, I'm fulfilling a childhood dream to go diving on the reef. Dan McCarthy, master of the Moana, will be the charter captain, and Andrew Wilson will be my diving buddy. Folks around here just call him Lurch.
Welcome aboard, mate.
Ah, beautiful. From the Cairns seaport, it's about a 90-minute voyage out to the reef. Almost 2 million people visit the reef every year. It's the world's single biggest structure made by living organisms, and it's so big, it can be seen from outer space. Lurch has been diving and spearfishing on the reef his entire life, and although the reef itself is protected, many of the fish that live around it are fair game, and today, we're looking for lunch.
I'm giddy like a little schoolgirl right now. This is going to be fantastic.
I've never been for a spearfish and not come back to the boat with a cold trout.
Right.
They're everywhere.
Uh-oh. As soon as someone says that, you just know we're gonna get skunked. But who cares? I'm going diving on the Great Barrier Reef. Awesome. You know what they call American TV show hosts that go diving on the Great Barrier Reef? Shark bait. The reef is like a mountain range rising from the ocean floor. Fish are just a fraction of the life teeming in and around it. The coral itself is alive. These are the bony, protective coverings created by little polyps that first attach themselves to rocks, then to the existing coral. It's taken 20,000 years for all these corals to build up to the massive structure I'm looking at right now. It's become a giant apartment complex for 1,500 species of fish. Check out these giant clams. Legend has it these monsters will seize the arms or legs of unwary swimmers. I'm happy to say it rarely happens. They actually close rather slowly. But looking at their gaping jaws up close, I can understand how those horror stories started. But we haven't spotted much in the way of game fish, which is okay by me. The sightseeing has been spectacular, and Lurch is nothing if not prepared.
What's the name of this place?
This is Fitzroy Island.
Fitzroy Island.
Yeah, just off the
Beautiful.
coast of Cairns, very close.
And this is plan B. If you don't catch any fish, Just pack a big cooler. Holy crap, you don't mess around.
We've got a beautiful coral trout here, also known as a footballer trout. Tastes great, mate. Really great. They call it a footballer trout because it's a bit like a football sock.
Sure, sure.
With the yellow colours on the outside. So he's going to be first. And here we have a beautiful painted cray. These are found all the way up the coast, mainly in the tropical area of the reef, but all over the reef.
My
This is a good size one. So we're going to get that guy going. And we're going to carve, this is a spotty mackerel. We're going to carve him up.
Gorgeous. First, we prepare the coral trout with a little lemon, lime, and coconut.
If you like, mate, dropping straight on the end of the grill there.
We're slicing up the mackerel and grilling it like a steak.
We'll just take some from the back here, enough to fit on our grill, and feed us boys up. And now it's time for Mr. Cray.
Coloring is just gorgeous.
You won't find them anywhere except on the reef. Put your hand up the back of his head there. You give it a good twist, and bingo. Nothing but head in there. Put your hand up the back of the shell, slowly creep him along. And look at that, a beautiful hunk of meat. I might actually just give that a quick dip in the ocean.
Yeah, rinse them off. I've been learning a lot from Lurch, but here's a part of the crayfish I can use to introduce him to something new.
I'm cooking my favorite part, which is the head. And if I'm lucky, I'll roast all those beautiful little bits of head fat.
While the food cooks, our beachscape is changing. Note that back when we started, it was all dry sand, but now
Buddy, that's a big one.
the tide is moving in. One thing you'll learn about Australians, nothing really phases them.
Gonna get flooded in here.
Oh, for sure.
Not bad though, we can have a feed and dive straight in the water.
Where food is concerned, a little thing like getting washed out to sea is incidental.
I'm gonna toss my crayfish in. Just a little bit of the salt pepper.
Sure. So as the waters rise, the mackerel steaks are ready to eat.
You can't get better than that, mate.
No.
That's just spectacular.
And now the painted crayfish.
Oh, yeah.
This is just about done, mate. Just about done.
That's ridiculous. This tastes more like crab than anything else.
Very similar, yep.
Faintly of scallops in the nose.
That's it, that's it.
This has no relation to Armaris americanus, the American lobster.
No, very different.
Completely different animal, different flavor.
You guys got nippers, eh?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's exceedingly tender. I mean, meltingly tender.
Easy to see why people pay upwards of $30 a piece for painted cray. But for some reason, people here don't seem to realize they're missing a taste treat inside the crayfish's head.
So you don't like this stuff, huh?
I must say, I've never actually really tried it before, mate.
Really?
No, normally, like, I must admit, sometimes us Aussies, you know, we pull a bit of stuff and throw it away. And
No. This is very good. You have to like sort of funky seafood stuff.
Yep. Nice and strong.
It is strong.
Can I take the whole lot?
Yeah.
Can I trust
So
you?
believe me, there's a lot more.
That is very surprising, mate.
I know.
That's almost like a...
Liver of the sea. Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked that.
Lurch and I are in full agreement when it comes to the coral trout.
That texture is unlike almost anything I've tried before. It's got the flavor of bass or snapper, but it's firmer than that. The sections of that fish just stay together even when they're soft.
Are you going for the cheek there, mate?
Of course I am.
That's one of my favourite parts too. I'll have to nick
Good
the
thing
other side.
exactly.
Right in the cheek here, beautiful flat.
Oh,
Take that skin off.
look at how nice that is. One of the best bites on the fish.
I have to say, between the trout and the crayfish, not much better day, is there, mate?
Why would you eat anything else? Certainly not when you're here. You know, it doesn't matter that we sort of got skunked out there. We saw some incredible underwater life. We got a great lunch. We found a desolate spot in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely beautiful, mate.
And we're with our buddies.
That's it.
When you're searching for tradition and food undiluted by the rushing tides of the modern world, head to the last stop on the subway. And in Greece, that stop is the remote island of Kalymnos. It's one of the Dodecanese islands, closer to Turkey than to Athens. I take a plane and then a ferry from a larger island, and Kalymnos feels pretty isolated. Years ago, Kalymnos had thriving sponge diving and fishing industries, commodities that have diminished in the light of global modernization and overfishing. But the island looks pretty much the same as it did back then. There are still goat herders on the hills, a few sponge divers selling their catch, and locals swapping raunchy stories for hours. And some are keeping the fishing traditions afloat, guys like these. Captain Michaelis Trikilis and veteran deep-sea fisherman Georgios Katsotourchis. It's early morning as we leave the port town of Pothia to experience how generations of fishermen did it all. Fish, cook, eat on these little boats, including eating a sea creature that ended up being one of the nastiest things I've tasted in a long time. Filthy, disgusting. Close to the coast of Turkey, we rendezvous with a second fishing boat already hard at work.
Now, basically, these guys set their nets one day and then come back the next morning to fetch them.
In all, they set almost 2 miles of nets. The catch is meager compared to when their fathers used to troll these waters.
Very nice scorpion fish. She's pretty, but not worth very much.
Yet there are a few bright spots.
Hello. Oh,
That's
that is
nice.
a lobster. That's nice.
And some surprises.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Horrid.
It's a moray eel.
Oh.
These waters are overfished, so the take is small, but plenty to show off.
Look at this prehistoric creature. These are cuttlefish. There's a nice octopus.
The moray eel is nabbed, trying to swallow its prey, a fish already in the net.
Oh, look at that. He has a fish down his throat. Look at that. Look at that. This is one nasty creature, and not just to look at, but to eat too. I love eel. There we go. The fattiest, softest flesh is the moray. This is a juvenile. He's only like a 3.5 footer. But can you get in there and take a look at those teeth? And they will take your hand off.
Thankfully, I live at the top of the food chain. Sorry, Charlie. The eater will become the eaten. There's still time to catch the rest of lunch. This time, underwater. The diver, Michaelis, also the captain and cook, uses an air hose connected to the boat, a lot like the diving apparatus used by sponge divers of his father's generation. Even I'm jumping in to join the hunt.
I'm just on a snorkel. So they went deep and I just hugged the shoreline, collected a few sea urchins, a meager donation to what's gonna be a fantastic shipboard lunch.
The divers are looking for clams and fuscus, which is a fungus-like sea critter easily mistaken for an underwater rock. They have to pry those away from their hiding places. It takes just half an hour to collect enough. So Michaelis surfaces to start his next job. Cleaning the fish, barely, to prepare a traditional fisherman's stew. Everything caught this morning will go into this concoction, including heads, fins, maw, and bones. While he's cooking, the rest of us start with an au naturel raw bar. First up, black sea urchin. Inside these forbidding balls of spindles lie a real delicacy.
Look at that. Do you see those orange strips running down the side? Those are the little roe sacks. And you eat those. They're very small, but they're very, very tasty. But you could sit down with that and just park a whole bunch of these away.
Yorgo, then let's see.
Oh, you want to try one?
Well. Oh, this is heavenly.
That's delicious.
That is
Right?
heavenly.
Now that tastes-
to die for.
That tastes buttery and delicious. Sweet.
Yeah.
I like that.
The strangest is fuscus. They grow in these closed shells.
They look like rocks, but they're soft. It's a sea squirt.
And you can use your finger to scoop it out. That's very good.
I've scooped my share of nasty critters.
You may need
But
a
this was different than those other times. I wouldn't necessarily call this an easy dish to put down.
It is not, no.
The more I try the fuscus, actually, the more I hate it.
Wonderful.
It's strong. It tastes like a fish's ass dipped in iodine. Yeah. And it's very, very bitter. You know, I mean, just filthy, disgusting. Now try packing these fuscus in salt, olive oil, and lemon and leave that sitting out for months, like they did on long sponge diving trips without any refrigeration. This is spinalo. This qualifies as one of the world's completely strangest foods. It's a good thing we still have the main dish to dive into. Hot off the galley stove on Mihaelis's boat. The hearty Greek fisherman stew, kakavia. Oh my goodness, look at this. You've got this incredible broth, and look at how rich that is. It's so rich, my lips are sticking together. There's water, onions, potatoes, and fish in here. This is awesome. And this tastes as complex as anything that you would have in a 3-star Guide Michelin restaurant. This is extraordinary. Here's that red scorpion fish. Look at how snow white its flesh is. The meat is so soft that it's like the texture of cotton balls when they get wet. Fishing, diving, and eating this way, just like their fathers and grandfathers did. But will the seas support their own children when it's their turn? You know, my whole life I used to make jokes about what sailors did on long trips away from home when there were 4 or 5 men in a tiny little boat, but now I know. They were cooking. Throughout history, Venetians have relied on the lagoon for travel, for food, and more. Reliance which now threatens its future. For centuries, sewage from Venice flowed into the canals and lagoon. Then came industrial chemicals and materials washed off of buildings by persistent flooding. But recent laws and treatment systems are working to bring back the delicate balance, so that guys like these can keep local fishing fleets viable. This is Ivan and Thomas Bagnolo, father and son, whose family has been fishing these waters for over 100 years. They live on Giudecca, a long, narrow island just south of Venice, and they're a vanishing breed. This is the side of Venice that you never get to see. 2 generations of a working family out here on the backside of the lagoon, where all the seafood that feeds that city comes from. There used to be lots of fishing families on Giudecca. Now there's just one. This family is the last family to fish the lagoon here. In a world dominated by imported seafood and multinational fishing corporations, smaller operations have been exterminated. So the bad news is that you've got chemical factories like that one that are killing the seagrass and the sea life and putting families like this one out of business. But the good news is that about 200 yards away, you can see one of the latest land reclamation projects underway. They're essentially building sandy shoals in and around the lagoon to regenerate the seagrass and bring cuttlefish and little fish back into the lagoon. So that's a good story. It's a race against time for these guys. Every day they haul and check hundreds of hand-sewn nets and heavy traps. This is a good one. This one goes here? Yes. What about these? Back. We're also on the hunt for moeca. They're a species of crab native to the Venetian lagoon, but they're only good when they've shed their shell. So you gotta catch them at exactly the right time when they've just left their hard shell behind. I mean, he's almost completely out. Look at that. What was once one crab is now 2. It feels like you're stroking the velvet on the antlers of a deer. Markets and restaurants pay a premium for this soft shell variety caught at this exact point so the whole crab can be eaten. But catch them just 1 hour late and the shells will re-harden in the cold water. The soft season here is very, 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 very short because they can't artificially keep the water warm enough to keep the shell from hardening up. The other prize catch, cuttlefish, larger than the ones we saw in the market, but they all have a very cool camouflage technique. These are able to turn black, then white, and all shades in between. It's a beautiful animal. Look at him turn color. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how dark this one is turning. It's amazing. Oh, and by the way, they bite. Look at that big, nasty beak in there. Ow! Ah! Oh! Son of a bitch! What the hell is wrong with you? I was gonna let this one go, but not anymore.
So it's back to the Bagnolos compound on Giudecca. Everyone in the family pitches in. One grandfather mending nets, another cleaning shrimp, even Ivan's daughter Morena captains the kitchen.
When you're in a fisherman's house in Giudecca, the home cooking is fantastic. Wow. And you saw some of those crabs in there alive in the milk. It was just loaded with that wonderful salt water from the Adriatic. It's fantastic.
3 generations of the Bagnolo family live, work, and eat together. Home-cooked food that outperforms any restaurant.
Sitting in a house with the guys that actually pulled the stuff out of the water, the shrimp were alive 5 minutes ago on the back porch. The crabs were alive 90 seconds ago over on the kitchen counter. Nothing better, nothing fresher, and quite frankly, it's cooked with an expertise that comes from the heart and not the head. Incredible food.
Quite an honor. Lunch with the last fishermen of Giudecca, toiling on the lagoon every day to carry on this centuries-old way of life.
Thank you for having me in your home.
On the other side of this inlet is a fishing village where time stands still, and this is the only way to get there. It's like one of those old Norse myths, where you climb into a boat that takes you to some level of the underworld.
Making a living from the ocean anywhere in the world is difficult. Making a living from the ocean in Morondava, Madagascar is extremely difficult. Conditions are primitive, and quite frankly, if you don't pull fish out of the ocean, you don't eat. Period. End of discussion.
Morondava is a town on the west coast of Madagascar. Like most of the country, this western region has animals and plants here that don't exist anyplace else. Madagascar is an island almost the size of Texas, about 200 miles off the coast of Africa. It split from the dark continent millions of years ago, carrying a plant and animal cargo that's been evolving in splendid isolation ever since. People didn't find their way here until about 1,000 years ago. They came from Polynesia and Africa in open boats, a lot like the ones I'll be riding in today. I'll be putting out to sea with fishermen from a village outside Morondava called Betania. It's a cluster of grass-covered shacks on the sand where men go out to sea in handmade pirogues to fish. Whatever they can bring home, the women either cook for the family meal or carry to the market. One of those fishermen is Jama. He supports a wife and 9 children using skills handed down through 100 generations. I'm going to sea with Jama and his 2 crewmen, and with Francois, the translator we hired in Morondava.
Yeah, this is where it begins.
With everyone aboard, we're off for a day's work that feels like an adventure story straight out of a kid's book.
Yeah! Yeah! This is really just incredible. The world just works completely differently here than the way it does where you're sitting right now.
It's amazing to think of Jama's ancestors coming across the sea, all the way from Africa, in small open boats like these. And what these guys are doing with them now is still really amazing.
Now, let me ask you a question. The captain of the boat,
Yes, Jama.
Jama, how long will he stay at sea?
So it depends. Sometimes that you go too far away for 3 days.
3 days?
3 days.
In this boat?
In this boat.
And just getting to where the work starts takes hours. Hundreds of years' experience have taught men like Jama to find their fishing grounds with no markers in sight. No one can explain to me exactly how, but Jama knows we've arrived. All right, so, I've kind of lost track of where we are. There's not a single land marker anywhere. I do know that we are 25 kilometers off the coast of Madagascar. There are sharks that live here. We're sitting in a tiny little wooden cup in the middle of a giant bowl of water.
And there's nothing modern when it comes to the fishing. No GPS, no sonar, nothing but a line, some hooks, a rusty knife, and a few bait fish. But it's enough. Yeah! Oh, yeah, baby! Oh! It looks like a giant cross between a sea robin and a monkfish. It's got a nice big throat and big teeth for eating little fish. They make it look easy, don't they? Just toss out your lines and pull them in. But the closer you look, the more you see is going on. When I first got in the boat, I thought that this was just sort of throw as many lines over the boat as you could and haul in what you catch. But it's very, very scientific. They're actually gauging where the fish are by baiting hooks at different depths on their line, going all the way down to the bottom. I mean, we're in hundreds and hundreds of feet of water here, and based on what comes up, the captain keeps making decisions. It's kind of like built-in fish sonar in his head based on what he sees come into the boat. Can you ask him if I can have a line to put over? Once Jama finds the spot, surely I'm enough of a fisherman to handle one of the lines. How far? Keep going? Good? Yeah. I've got about 150 feet of line out now. Jama and the crew pulled in 4 fish in a matter of minutes. But as for me, ha-ha! Ha-ha! We got fish. Yeah? Well, I think what I had was a rusty boot that worked its way off. I've gone sport fishing with all kinds of fancy high-end gear. This is much more complicated. It's in those fingertips, measuring out the line and moving the hook in ways I can't pick up. Nice. I don't know whether you noticed, but every time I get my hand on the line, they want to make sure we're not wasting bait. Every line that goes down is an opportunity to put a meal on someone's plate back in the village. Food is so scarce that these guys don't even pack a lunch to come out here. It's after 11 o'clock in the morning. I've been up since before 5 a.m. We're gonna be out here for a little while longer. Delicious. Very much like Japanese snapper. Had nice saltiness. Soft white flesh, beautiful, very clean. These guys think I'm crazy. Laura, wanna try it? Pour manger? Raw fish fillet like this could cost you $30 at a sushi bar in New York or Tokyo. But out here, he's freaked out. It's okay, you don't have to eat it. You don't have to if you don't want to. These guys just won't eat raw fish. Culture is a funny thing. All this time, Jama never stops working, reading the water like tea leaves, looking for the really big fish. Whoa! Did you see that? It's like a shark. They're gonna try and spear it. That is gorgeous. Whoa! Whoa! Did you see that? My goodness! What's amazing is the marksmanship that this guy had banged with the spear. This is a king mackerel, about 50 pounds of fish. Fatally wounded, but still thrashing, so it has to be clubbed to death before pulling it into the boat. These guys are men. Men. Sail out here in the middle of the ocean, I mean the middle of the ocean, with nothing but the wind and a couple of wooden paddles and a bunch of hand lines and stay out here for 2-3 days at a time, feed their families. Incredible. This all adds up to a good haul for Jama and his crew. Good enough to call it a day and head for home. By the time we get back, the tide's gone out and the beach has moved about a mile from the village. But these ancient outriggers can go as far as the water will reach, while today's fancy schmancy motorboats are stranded until the tide comes in. And even though it's extremely backlit, You can probably see way down there, that is one of our crew boats, and they are hand carrying the gear out.
After a full day at sea, Jama is bringing home about $15 worth of fish. More than a third of that will come from the big king mackerel. Back at the village, his wife and children have the cooking fires ready. By the way, that yellow stuff you see on the women's faces is a paste made from grinding up tree bark. It's a combination sunscreen and cosmetic. All the way home, I've been looking forward to tasting a choice cut of fresh mackerel. But this fisherman's family can't afford to eat the best of what he catches.
They cut off the smallest pieces of the tail of the king mackerel to serve to us, not because they're not being gracious, but just because this is the money that they can make selling in the market. It's a matter of feeding his family.
So for this family, even a few scraps from a fresh-caught fish is like killing the fatted calf. Preparation is simple. Poach in a broth with sea salt and serve.
Wow. The dish that you have is as good as anything of its kind in a four-star restaurant in New York or Paris, and it's absolutely breathtakingly fresh and delicious. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous fish.
But more often, Jama's family eats the parts of a catch no one else wants.
This is dried shark meat. Soak it in a little brine, salt water, or just smear it with salt and stick it in the sun. And then just toast it over the open fire. It's a little salty, it's a little fishy and putrid, but it is very, very tasty. And I thank you. I'm very grateful for this. Merci beaucoup. And the best little bits are the burnt. I like it when it chars. Are very good. We don't even need a translator for that. She knows that burnt little bit was the best bite on that piece.
To a modern man like me, this seems like a tough way to live. But Jama, who's a man of few words, thinks otherwise. He says he's got his work and his family, and seems puzzled by the idea that he might want anything else.
Does he think that life is easy or that it's hard? Life is easy. He has a great attitude.
Namibia's modern seafood industry is also flourishing here. You'll find frigid Atlantic Ocean waters washing up on the shores of former colonial outposts. The port town of Walvis Bay, halfway up Namibia's western coast, was colonized by a succession of European powers since the 1890s. Drawn by its strategic location, natural deepwater harbor, and abundance of whales and fish. I'm joining the modern-day incarnation of those colonial mariners, with a crew whose mission is to rotate thousands of cages chock full of oysters. It's strenuous and demanding work.
Oh! There you go. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Henning Duplessis is the captain of this boat. He and his crew of 4 are responsible for nearly 3,000 floating oyster cages. His family moved to Walvis Bay from South Africa. Henning's been in the oyster business for 25 years and seen Namibia's commercial aquaculture grow exponentially.
Yeah. Wait. Now, underneath.
Oh, it's that gosh darn underneath part.
Juvenile oysters are known as spat and are grown in specialized labs. Imported from Chile, the spats start off tiny. You need a microscope to see them. After about 6 weeks growing in the lab, they're transferred to Walvis Bay. It takes just 9 months feeding in the algae-packed water for the oysters to mature enough for export to Asia. That's faster than just about anywhere else in the world.
We had guys here doing research, and they say that they can do experiments here in 6 weeks that they take in other parts of the world would take them 6 months to do.
That's fantastic.
Phenomenal growth rates.
Right.
The reason? Southwesterly winds bringing Antarctic currents packed with plankton and algae to the bay. The nutrients that mollusks need to thrive. Today, we're pulling up oysters to clean and rotate them and tossing them back in the bay.
They have to clean the algae. It grows so quickly on those cages. They need free-flowing water to promote optimal oyster growth.
Me? I'm still trying to figure out the knots.
Help me out here because I don't know a clove hitch from a
Robinson.
from a reverse Robinson. In all, there are 18 lines, each with 150 baskets. And we've done how many so far?
Putting back, about 40.
It's gonna be a long day. 1, 2, 3.
Getting there.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Union says that I get a 15-minute break, though, after 6 baskets.
What union do you belong to? The Siemens Union.
bet.
Which one?
Of course I
The
do.
lazy one.
Of course I may not be the best guy that you've ever hired, but I'm the
You're
first
the
one.
most talkative one.
What can I say? I'm a talker first, oysterman second. I did 4 baskets. Those things weigh 80, 90 pounds. I think I'd do okay for about another 20 minutes. I finally got it right on the last one.
Perfect.
But the rewards are delicious, which I see after Henning steers towards one of his top secret oyster cages.
The oysters we're gonna get now, they've been with me for 4 years. So
Big ones.
they're my special ones.
After days of eating meat to the exclusion of almost anything else, I am ready for some shellfish. Look at that. That is fantastic.
It's good. You're gonna have the aftertaste.
That was about a ½ pound of oyster. Fantastic. It's very sweet, very melony up front, very briny, very intense on the backside. Oysters are not indigenous to Namibia, and the local guys who do all this work to grow them can't stand the taste. You guys don't eat oysters, do you? No. Guys, thank you very much. This is awesome. Thanks for letting us hang with you for a day. For villages like this one, the Suriname River is their superhighway. It's also one of their main sources of food. Beneath the surface of the water are catfish, whitefish, and lots of piranha. 3 or 4 times a week, Laurent and his cousin Okuntu paddle their handmade boat about an hour upriver. I'm tagging along in one of the bigger boats called a korjal to learn how they fish this river and hopefully get a little taste of piranha. The boys don't use poles, they don't use lures, just lines, worms, and pieces of fish as bait. Laurent is 15 years old, Okuntu is 14. They're seasoned veterans at this kind of fishing. It's a skill that all Saramaccan men have to learn to help keep their families fed. The boys kindly agree to come aboard our korjal and do what they can to teach the American guy the ropes. Is this my line? I just have to watch and learn. Are you kidding me? This guy just threw a worm 40 feet. Well, that wasn't a very good cast.
So he's saying that you have to have your hands stay still and not move it around. The string, it mustn't touch the side of the boat.
Hey, everyone. I'm Billy Bob Hula Bopper for the Fishing Channel. I think I caught the engine.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Yes,
Yes,
I definitely caught the engine. Am I the worst fisherman they've ever met? Whoa, did you see that cast?
Oh. Abunu? He says that's good.
Yeah, you're darn right that is.
Okay.
A little practice. There are big fish in this river, but we're not seeing them today. Nice job.
That's a white fish.
I love those. Those are good. It may not look like much, but fish like this will be a welcome addition to tonight's dinner. I think I got a little fish. In this culture, nothing is too small to keep. And I do mean nothing. My 6-year-old Noah catches bigger fish with his little purple Scooby-Doo rod. Look, son, Daddy caught a fish. And then, just to add insult to injury, our producer, Chris Marino, who was messing around with his rod and reel, is now pulling in a fish that could eat about 50 of the ones like I caught. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Reel it in, baby. Reel it in. Wow. What did he say?
It eats people, be careful.
Actually, it isn't true that piranhas are man-eaters, but getting a hand too close to those teeth could really do some damage. There, my friends, is a Surinamese piranha.
This is about what, pound and a half?
Yeah.
Pound for pound? How vicious?
Most vicious fish I've ever gotten. They just eat the lures to pieces.
Piranha is considered some of the best eating fish to come out of this river. One big piranha, a couple of catfish, and some very small whitefish. It's enough that we can head for home. We've got dinner. The day is about done, and no one is really paying much attention, and Chris hooks something really big.
Whoa! Holy that's a big fish.
Oh no.
He's all right, he's all right.
Not all right.
It's not all right with the men on the boat until Chris has all those sharp teeth pinned under a machete. Your typical piranha is 5 to 10 inches and weighs about a pound. Like Chris said, this is a bleepin' big piranha, 20 inches high, 2 feet long, and weighing about 15 pounds. Back at the village, Laurent's mother Rita is waiting to see what the boys brought home for dinner. But when she sees what the crazy white guy came back with, Rita knows a good provider when she sees one.
When you leave, she's gonna go with you.
As the man who caught the biggest fish, Chris has to come out from behind the cameras and be treated as a guest. There's no running water at home, so the river is Rita's kitchen sink. As she chops up the piranha, I can see why this one is so fat.
Pregnant female. See the roe? Delicious.
She's gonna prepare it.
Good, delicious. I love a good piranha egg. Over easy.
Tell me how you have a day that beats this one. On the water, fishing with great friends, and then you have someone's mom make you piranha soup?
Yeah.
Most homes here are too small for anything resembling a kitchen, so families like Rita's share communal cooking shacks. Okuntu's mom works with Rita preparing the evening meal.
This is a very typical cooking style of this community. The oil in the water, little onion, chicken bouillon cubes, salt, pepper, hot chilies. I'm really excited. When was the last time you had a good piranha stew? With massive hot chilies.
Something else that's typical, see how the wood's arranged so that each piece burns from just one end? That's because the moment the cooking's done, they'll pull the logs out of the fire and save them for next time.
They are very efficient because they have to carry that wood on their head.
When everything's ready, we eat with serving spoons that double as portable bowls.
Wow. Piranha meat is very, very sweet, very, very firm. Boy, is that delicious. The nice thing is that the reason that I hate freshwater fish is that they all taste of mud. They taste of what they eat. Piranhas devour other fish.
Right.
And so the meat is much sweeter, much firmer, much cleaner.
Really good.
It's delicious.
Here, like many cultures, it's customary for the young people to hang back while their elders eat. But Laurent and Okuntu have definitely earned a place with the grown-ups.
Wow. That is amazing. Finger licking good. That's fantastic. Hey, Amber,
Yes.
would you tell these young men something for me?
Yes.
I spend a lot of time with a lot of people, but they were so kind and so patient with me all day long. They are mature beyond their years.
Okay.
I'd love it if my son someday grew up to be like one of these guys.
Okay. Ada limbo-limbo? Okay. So ada.